Hello everyone. So today we are going to do Leetcode, not the daily challenge, but it is one of the questions which was being asked it was being asked in my ByteDance online assessment, and moreover this is also one of the famous questions for being asked in interviews also in some of the companies, which I'll add in the description. Now comes the part at how we are required to do this question meeting tool. Basically, this question is about sorting, and while sorting, we are required to check that how we would be able to get our final answer, that is it possible or it is not possible. So let us first read the question statement. So here, and one more thing, this is not Leetcode, it is Leetcode, because at Leetcode this question is basically in the premium section. So if we can't approach any question from the Leetcode, then we can approach that from the Leetcode, because here there is this particular editor is also there, where we can simply check that what error could be there in our code, and sort of. Here is just a simple variation, that is this particular thing, interval class variation is there, else the whole question is same as it is only. So now, without any other thing, let's start with the question. So first thing is that here we are given that an array of meeting interval consisting of start and end times. Basically there would be start and an end time, it has been given to us, and then we need to determine if a person could attend all the meetings. So this is the question, that whatever intervals we are given with, we just need to determine that if that person attend all the meetings which are being there. See, in real world, if we see that how a person could attend all the meetings which are being in his or her time frame. So the thing is, how we would check? We'll check the starting point of each meeting when all are starting, right? So all are starting at different intervals, right? But next thing, a meeting could be extended also, right? And if a meeting gets extended in the sense, like if a particular meeting is there which ends at a time which is something, then a particular next meeting is being started, and the previous meeting which was there, it is there with the time which is much more than the starting time of the second meeting, right? So then we can't attend both of the meetings, right? So in that sense only we need to check for this particular question. So first, see, here we are just required to return true if all the meetings could be attended. That is, no overlapping intervals are there. We are required to check that if there is overlapping intervals or not. That's the thing which we are required to check in this question. And false if any one meeting is not attendable. That is, overlapping time interval is there. So we are required to return false at that particular moment. So how we can check that? So here I've taken this example. When we are given time like this is starting time, this is ending time, then first thing which we will do is we will sort and check why we are sorting here. The thing is, we need to check that is there any interval where the starting points overlap. So for that sense we are first sorting it. So when we sort it, we can check that 0, 1, 5, 13 all are there which are having simply starting point as the difference, right? And all are in increasing order as we sort it. Now comes the main part. First we'll check that the first meeting which is being there, if the ending time of that particular meeting is greater than the starting time of the second meeting, that simply means that this particular meeting, let me draw it, it will be much better. This simply means this 0, 10. This is 0 and this is 10, right? So here it starts at 1. Okay, it starts at 1 and it ends at 2. But the thing is, the first meeting, it was still running there, right? So in this particular time frame, we can't attend this particular meeting because it is overlapping here. And then for 5 and 9, here also it is overlapping. We can't attend this one meeting also. But the meeting which is there at 13, 15, means after 10, 13 and then 15, if this meeting is being there, then we can attend this particular meeting, right? But the main question which was asked, it is simply saying that we need to return true only and only if all the meetings are attendable, and we need to return false if any one of them are not attendable. So here two meetings are there which is not attendable. So we are required to return false in this scenario. So from this we can see that how we are required to code this solution, that we are first required to sort it. So it will be simply login, right? And then again getting back it into the original vector, it would be in and login, right? And then we are required to compare the ending point of the first pair with the starting point of the second pair in each and every case here, right? So by that, if there is some overlapping, then we'll simply return false. And if there is no overlapping, then we will simply return true. That is the thing which we are required to do here. So here the thing is, we'll check if ending time of the first meeting, that is this meeting, ending time is greater than the starting time of the second meeting, that is this meeting, right? So it will be simply overlap only, right? Because this was the starting time of the second meeting and this was the ending time of the first meeting. So here the thing was that 1 is simply less than 10, or we can say 10 is simply greater than 1, right? Means the start time and the ending time. The ending time and the start time, right? This is the scenario here. So at this moment, the meetings were overlapping, so we can't attend these meetings. So that's why we will simply return false. So this was all about this question explanation, right? Now let's come to the part of coding. So in Leetcode, actually, it was given as vector of vector, but here it is given with interval class. And this interval class is the type of this particular input vector. So in that scenario, we are required to make our own comparator or use lambda function for comparing. This normal sorting function won't work here. So this is the thing which we need to do in this question. This is how it is manipulated from the original Leetcode question. So now comes the part I will show you about both of those. So basically when it was normal one, it was like this, means short intervals and this. Then it was basically the normal one. But when it is not normal one, it is using this interval class. And in that scenario, here first I've not this part, you see this part. Here I first created a comparator function, and I have taken it as static because we are required to use it as static only. We can't use it as normal function. If we would be using it as normal function, then here when we are again using this, then it won't be able to recognize in it. Means there would be two declarations of the same function, and thus it will show us error. And simply there would be allocation of memory 2 times, which we don't require. So that's why for giving the memory allocation once only, we are simply declaring it as static. So bool static comparator const inter. So the thing is now, it is a function, right? And we are comparing, right? So how we are required to compare? Whatever parameters are there, how we pass the parameter to function? These are simply by the type, what is the type of that variable and the variable name, right? So here, as it is a comparator for a class, so the type would be simply interval and the variable by our choice, that whatever we want. Here I've taken left hand side, that is LHS, and here again class name and RHS, that is right hand side. So these are the two variables I've taken for the interval class. Now, how the comparison will be done? comparison would be done simply only. In this class, we are having two members, start and end. And this start and end simply reflects this thing, 0 and 30 of a particular pair. So that's why it will be checking that if here portion it is simply sorting it in ascending order. Show left hand side dot start less than right hand side dot start, ascending order sorting, or here the thing is, or if both of them are equal, because there could be a case that both of them are equal, right? So in that scenario, we're simply required to sort it using this, means checking our second member, that when the ending member is less than the ending member of our second pair. So in that sense, we are required to do. So this is how our comparator would be made and how we need to use it. So in this sort function, passing this as it is, but third parameter we will be passing this comparator. So this is how it will be used in this particular. So this is how we can make our comparative function and use it. This is the thing about comparative. Now comes the main part of the algorithm basically. This is our okay, let me also show you how lambda would work. So for lambda, we won't be required this and this, right? We would be required this portion only. So here how we are doing is, we have simply taken this sort function as it is, the way we were using in the above one, right? So rather than passing this comparator function like this, what we are doing, we are declaring that function inside this one. This is the lambda operator which helps us to do that. This lambda operator and then the parameters which are required to be passed. These are the same as we are passing here, and then doing the same thing here the way we were doing here. And as it is a function inside a function which we call as which we make by using lambda operator, so that's why we are required to have a semicolon. So that's why we are required to have the semicolon also, and moreover we are using this inside the sort function, right? So it is having the close bracket, and this particular curly braces, these are because of this particular, means because of the lambda operator, these curly braces are here. So this is how we would be required to make the lambda data function inside a particular function. Okay, so now comes the next part. Next part is about the main algorithm which I was explaining from those diagrams. So now here comes the part that before sorting, if we see that intervals are empty, then we are required to return true, because if there is no meeting, then the thing is that yeah, you are having no conflict and nothing like that. So simply true would be returned. Now here we are simply sorting it. It is now sorted, right? And then we are simply using like this. Means traversing the whole vector, input vector which is being given to us from I equal to 0. This size underscore t is taken. It could be taken as int also, but a vector basically returns size underscore t as the answer. So in that sense, simply taken this size underscore t. Basically, it is also a data type in C++. And here, what we are doing is, as per that diagram only, if intervals of I dot n, means if the ending time is greater than intervals of I plus 1, that is the second pair starting time, then we are required to return false. Because here would be overlapping, else we are required to return true. So this is how we are required to do this particular question. And if you have any doubt about either lambda operator or even the comparative function or anything, you could simply comment that down. And please do like and subscribe to my channel. So this was all. Thank you.